Phishing operations are draining billions from victims by exploiting a single vulnerability: trust in caller ID. When a call appears to come from a bank or government agency, victims answer. To bypass carrier filters, criminal syndicates rely on specialized hardware. This is an illegal mobile VoIP gateway, commonly known as a SIM box. It bridges internet calls to local mobile networks, rewriting the origin data so international scam calls look like local neighborhood numbers. To stop this, the South Korean government passed an aggressive amendment to the Telecommunications Business Act. The new law explicitly bans the manufacture, distribution, and sale of any device capable of altering a caller ID. Police are actively enforcing this mandate, raiding underground parking garages and hidden offices to confiscate these racks of illicit hardware and dismantle the phishing rings. The intent to stop fraud is universally supported. But the specific statutory language chosen for this law introduces a massive blind spot, one that threatens the legality of nearly every legitimate corporate IT network operating today. Step inside any modern office building, and you will find standard, compliant equipment performing the exact technical process the government just banned. Every time an employee makes an outbound call to a customer, their internal desk extension is hidden. The customer's phone screen displays the company's main representative line instead. The entire architecture of modern SIP and VoIP networks relies on this dynamic caller ID rewriting to function. Look at the data flow side by side. On the left, an illegal SIM box alters an incoming packet to mask a scammer's origin. On the right, a corporate IP PBX alters an outgoing packet to mask an employee's internal extension. At the packet level, the data transformation sequence is identical. Both execute a caller ID change. The revised law, as written, makes no distinction between these two systems based on their use case. By regulating the mechanical capability of a device rather than its operational intent, the legislation inadvertently turns standard enterprise network routing into a potential criminal act. In older analog telephone systems, a caller ID was a fixed attribute tied directly to a physical copper wire. In modern SIP networks, that physical link is gone. Caller ID is now dynamic metadata. It exists as text fields within SIP headers that are continuously read and rewritten as data packets move through the network. This diagram illustrates how a corporate IP phone system maps internal extensions to external carrier lines using two standard processes. First is direct inward dialing, or DID. When an external call hits the corporate gateway, the system reads the dialed number and maps it to a specific internal IP phone, like extension 201. The reverse process is direct outward dialing, or DOD. When extension 201 makes an outbound call, the system intercepts it, strips away the internal extension, and applies the company's public number, 021234567, before handing the signal to the public telecom network. This DoD routing protects employee privacy, allows for centralized billing, and ensures the telecom carrier recognizes the caller as an authorized corporate account. Mechanically, the PBX achieves this by applying a translation profile to rewrite the SIP invite header before routing the call out. If the PBX does not rewrite this header, the telecom carrier will receive an unrecognized internal extension and instantly reject the call. Caller ID manipulation in this context is not a deceptive tactic. It is a strict engineering requirement for enterprise telecommunications to connect. IP PBXs are not the only devices affected by this broad legislative language. Consider session border controllers, or SBCs, which serve as the security checkpoint between a private corporate network and the public internet. SBCs are explicitly designed to rewrite SIP headers. To ensure network boundary security, they strip internal routing data from packets, structurally morphing the header configuration to let the call pass through safely. The same logic applies to automated call centers and interactive voice response systems. When a support agent calls you back from their remote home office, the IVR system intercepts the signal and replaces the agent's personal number with a single, unified customer service number. Modifying SIP headers is a continuous, automated process happening at every layer of the telecom stack by design. If altering a caller ID is a baseline operational necessity, a law banning the capability to do so targets the entire internet telephony ecosystem. To see exactly how this oversight happened, we have to look directly at the amended text of Article 84-2. This comparison shows the exact changes made to the Telecommunications Business Act. The critical flaw lies in this specific phrasing. The ban targets any devices capable of falsely displaying a phone number. The law operates on a strict functional capability standard. Compare that broad statutory text with the press release issued by the Ministry of Science and ICT, which explicitly points to SIM boxes as the intended target. The government's public relations campaign promises precision, targeting specific malicious hardware. The actual law on the books targets any broad technical capability. Pushed to its logical extreme, this phrasing creates absurd legal scenarios. A standard smartphone running a commercial VoIP app has the technical capability to set and alter outbound SIP header fields. Under a strict reading of the law, that smartphone technically meets the criteria for a banned device. For IT integrators deploying enterprise infrastructure from Cisco, Avaya, or Microsoft, the threat is immediate. Installing standard routing equipment now carries theoretical criminal liability. The legislative intent to stop scammers is sound, but the severe disconnect between that intent and the statutory text has generated unmanageable legal uncertainty for legitimate enterprise businesses. To resolve this legal paradox before enforcement shuts down compliant networks, the regulatory framework must be corrected. The law needs to draw a distinct line between technical capability and design intent. Modifying a caller ID follows two paths. One is illicit, SIM boxes engineered to spoof numbers and defraud users. The other is legitimate, standard infrastructure built for network translation and security. The legal standard cannot remain what the machine can technically do. It must evolve to target what the machine is designed and deployed to do. Regulators need to immediately draft clear safe harbor provisions for the industry. These provisions must provide explicit exemptions for standard telecommunications equipment used in normal, authenticated business operations. Failing to clarify this distinction legally threatens maintenance, tyranny, and rollout of modern corporate communication networks nationwide. Protecting the public from voice phishing requires precision legal tools. A blunt ban that criminalizes the core engineering of the internet telephony ecosystem is a cure worse than the disease.